the spark ignited, awakening to the lost flame. Imagine, if you will, a vast, ancient forest at the break of dawn. The air is thick with mist, and the ground is alive with the quiet hum of life stirring from slumber. In the heart of this woodland stands a towering oak, its roots delving deep into the earth, drawing sustenance from hidden springs below. This tree has weathered storms, endured the bite of winter, and flourished under the sun's gaze. But now, picture a careless wanderer who, in his haste, strikes flint against stone, igniting a spark that falls upon dry leaves. The flame catches, small at first, then grows, consuming twigs and branches. Yet, instead of harnessing this fire for warmth or light, the wanderer lets it rage unchecked, burning through the underbrush until it threatens the great oak itself. The tree's vital sap, the essence that fuels its growth and strength, is wasted in the blaze, leaving the once mighty sentinel weakened, its branches bare, its roots exposed. This, my friend, is the story of your life force. Every drop of semen you spill thoughtlessly is a spark of your destiny lost to the winds, a flame that could illuminate your path, but instead scatters into oblivion. In our modern world, we are those wanderers distracted by the glow of screens, the pull of instant gratification, the hollow promises of fleeting pleasure. We chase shadows in the digital abyss, scrolling through endless feeds of manufactured desire, only to find ourselves emptier, more drained, more disconnected from the core of who we are meant to be. But what if I told you that this spark, this sacred seed within you, holds the power to transform not just your body, but your mind, your spirit, your very existence? What if reclaiming it could turn the flickering embers of your potential into a roaring bonfire of vitality, creativity, and enlightenment? Welcome to the journey of retention and awakening. This is not a path of denial or suppression, but one of profound transformation. Semen retention, at its essence, is the art of conserving and redirecting your most potent life energy. The Jing of Taoist wisdom, the ojas of Ayurvedic lore, the sacred elixir of tantric traditions. It is the conscious choice to harness what nature has gifted you, not as a burden to be expelled, but as fuel for ascension. In ancient texts, from the Tao Te Ching to the Upanishads, this essence is revered as the foundation of immortality, the bridge between the mortal and the divine. Modern science echoes these truths, revealing through studies on hormones, neurology, and physiology how preserving this energy can recalibrate your entire being. Let us begin at the threshold, where the ordinary meets the extraordinary. Picture yourself in the midst of a chaotic cityscape, horns blaring, lights flashing, your mind a whirlwind of deadlines and distractions. You reach for your phone, lured by the siren call of pornography, a modern plague that has ensnared millions, turning sacred intimacy into a solitary vice. The dopamine rush is immediate, intoxicating, but fleeting. Afterward, the fog descends. Fatigue sets in, motivation wanes, and a subtle emptiness gnaws at your soul. This is the cycle of depletion, a story as old as humanity, yet amplified in our hyper-connected age. Stress from work, the pressure to perform, the isolation of urban life, all conspire to drain you further, leaving you adrift in a sea of unfulfilled potential. But there is a way out, a path illuminated by the wisdom of ages. In Taoism, Jing is the primordial essence, the raw material of life stored in the kidneys and reproductive organs. It is not infinite. It must be cultivated, preserved, and transmuted into Qi, vital energy, and Shen, spirit. The ancient sages warned that excessive loss of Jing leads to premature aging, weakness, and spiritual disconnection. Similarly, in Ayurveda, Ojas is the subtle energy of vitality, the sap of life that nourishes the body and mind. Depleting it through overindulgence invites disease, lethargy, and a dimming of inner light. Tantra, The mystical path of union teaches that sexual energy is Kundalini Shakti, the coiled serpent at the base of the spine, awaiting awakening to rise through the chakras, igniting enlightenment. Science affirms these insights with empirical rigor. Consider the biology of semen. A single ejaculation contains millions of spermatozoa, along with proteins, enzymes, vitamins, and minerals, zinc, calcium, magnesium, and more. But beyond the physical, it's a cocktail of hormones: testosterone, the driver of strength and ambition; dopamine, the motivator; serotonin, the stabilizer of mood. When you retain, testosterone levels can surge by up to 45% after just a week, as shown in studies from the Journal of Zhejiang University. This isn't mere folklore, it's measurable. Your body, in conservation mode, redirects resources. Energy once funneled into reproduction now bolsters muscle repair, cognitive function, and immune response. Think of it as compounding interest in the bank of your vitality. Each day of retention accrues benefits, building a reservoir of power. No longer are you leaking energy like a sieve. Instead, you're fortifying your fortress. Modern men grapple with low testosterone epidemics, blamed on sedentary lifestyles, poor diets, environmental toxins. Retention counters this, naturally elevating androgens, enhancing physical prowess. Athletes in ancient Greece practiced celibacy before competitions, knowing it sharpened their edge. Today, biohackers and peak performers echo this, reporting heightened endurance, faster recovery, and unbreakable focus. Yet, the journey begins with awareness, not force. Retention is transformation. It's about alchemizing base urges into higher pursuits. In the Tantric tradition, this is brahmacharya, not mere abstinence, but the channeling of energy toward divine union. A story from the Mahabharata illustrates this. The warrior Arjuna, devoted to his path, conserved his seed for 12 years, gaining superhuman strength and clarity. He wasn't suppressing desire, he was elevating it, turning passion into purpose. In our era, the challenges are insidious. Porn addiction rewires the brain, as neuroscientists like Gary Wilson explain in Your Brain on Porn. The constant novelty floods dopamine receptors, desensitizing them, leading to erectile dysfunction, anxiety, and relational voids. Stress compounds this. Cortisol spikes, suppressing testosterone, creating a vicious loop of exhaustion. Emptiness follows. That nagging sense of, is this all there is? Disconnection from self, from others, from the cosmos. But retention breaks the chains. As you abstain, the brain resets. Dopamine sensitivity returns, focus sharpens, and a quiet confidence emerges. Let me paint a vivid scene. You wake on day 3 of retention. The world seems crisper, colors brighter. Your workout feels effortless. Ideas flow like a river in your work. This is no coincidence. Biologically, retained semen nourishes the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis, balancing hormones. Prolactin, the post-ejaculation hormone that induces drowsiness, stays low. Instead, oxytocin and vasopressin rise, fostering bonding and drive. Ancient practices guide us here. Taoist microcosmic orbit meditation circulates Jing upward, preventing stagnation. Visualize your energy as a golden light, rising from the perineum through the spine to the crown. Ayurvedic herbs like ashwagandha bolster ojas, reducing stress. Tantric breathwork, deep rhythmic inhalations, transmutes arousal into ecstasy without release. But why does this matter? Because you are more than flesh. In the spiritual lens, semen is the vehicle of creation, mirroring the universe's generative force. Wasting it is squandering your God-given spark. Retention awakens Kundalini, uncoiling the serpent, opening the third eye, Ajna chakra, for intuition and vision. As we delve deeper, remember, this is your odyssey. The forest awaits your return, the oak ready to thrive. Harness the spark and watch your destiny ignite. Now, let's dive into a personal anecdote to make it relatable. Imagine a young man named Alex, a software engineer in his late 20s, trapped in the grind of Silicon Valley. Alex spends his evenings binge-watching porn, chasing the high that never lasts. Mornings bring grogginess, afternoons a slump in productivity, evenings a cycle of regret. His relationships suffer. Intimacy feels mechanical, connection elusive. One day, scrolling through forums, he stumbles upon tales of semen retention. Skeptical but desperate, he commits to a week. Day 1. The urges hit like waves, memories of past indulgences flooding his mind. But he breathes through it, recalling Taoist teachings. The superior man conserves his jing to nourish his spirit. He practices belly breathing, drawing energy inward. Day 2. Energy builds. At the gym, he lifts heavier, runs longer. Science backs this. Studies in endocrinology show testosterone peaks around day 7, enhancing muscle synthesis. Day 3. Clarity dawns. Ideas for a new app pour forth. Psychologically, the prefrontal cortex, dulled by porn's overstimulation, regains sharpness. Willpower strengthens, as does confidence. Pheromones subtly shift, drawing positive interactions. Alex's story mirrors millions. In a world of instant gratification, retention teaches patience, the art of delayed reward. It's not about celibacy forever, but mastery over impulses. Exploring biology further, semen is nutrient-dense. Zinc, vital for immunity and cognition, is concentrated 30 times higher than in blood. Loss depletes it, leading to fatigue, poor memory. Retention preserves this, boosting brain function. Hormonally, DHEA levels rise, combating aging. Cortisol drops, reducing stress inflammation. From Ayurveda, Ohas is built through sattvic living, pure foods, meditation. Depletion signs, dry skin, anxiety, low energy. Retention restores it, fostering glow, resilience. Tantra adds, energy work like Mula Bandha, root lock, seals the base, preventing leakage. Partners can practice non-ejaculatory sex, circulating energy in loops of bliss. Metaphors abound. Semen as oil in a lamp. Waste it and the light dims. Or as seeds in soil, plant them wisely for harvest. Modern challenges. Social media fuels comparison. Porn escalates to extremes, leading to addiction. Studies from the American Psychological Association link porn to depression, relationship dissatisfaction. But hope lies in transformation. Retention isn't suppression, it's redirection. Urges become creativity. Artists like Da Vinci practiced celibacy, channeling into masterpieces. Spiritual hint. In Kabbalah, seed is holy, wasting it scatters divine sparks. Retention gathers them, illuminating the soul. As part 1 closes, feel the spark within. This is the beginning. Reclaim your power. The script continues with deeper dives into the introduction, setting the stage for the journey. Imagine a solitary flame flickering in the heart of an endless night. This flame is not born of ordinary fire. It is the essence of creation itself, a divine spark drawn from the cosmos, housed within the vessel of your body. It burns with potential, the power to illuminate worlds, to forge empires of the mind, to awaken the slumbering giant of your soul. But in the rush of modern existence, we squander it. We let it spill forth in moments of weakness, chased by the illusions of pleasure, only to watch it extinguish in the void, leaving us colder, dimmer, more adrift. Every drop you waste is a spark of your destiny lost, a fragment of your infinite potential scattered to the winds. Yet, what if you could gather those sparks? What if you could fan them into a blaze that warms not just your flesh, but your spirit, your purpose, your legacy? This is the call of semen retention, an ancient alchemical art disguised as a simple choice. It is not the harsh whip of suppression, nor the cold denial of your nature. No, it is transformation, the redirection of your most sacred energy from fleeting release to enduring mastery. In the wisdom of the Taoists, this energy is Jing, the foundational essence that births life and sustains immortality. In Ayurveda, it is Ojas, the golden nectar of vitality that infuses every cell with radiance. In Tantra, it is the raw Shakti, the divine feminine force coiled at the base of your being, waiting to rise and unite with the divine masculine in ecstatic union. Modern science, with its lenses of biology and neurology, confirms what the sages knew. This is not myth, but measurable power. Retaining your semen recalibrates hormones, sharpens the mind, and ignites the body's innate healing. It turns the ordinary man into a force of nature, fueled by focus, vitality, creativity, and a profound spiritual awakening. Let us embark on this journey together, as if walking through a cinematic tapestry where ancient scrolls unfurl alongside laboratory charts, where the pulse of your heart synchronizes with the rhythm of the universe. Picture yourself as the hero in an epic tale, the weary traveler who discovers a hidden spring in the desert of discontent. Our world is that desert, parched by the relentless sun of stress, eroded by the sands of disconnection, poisoned by the mirages of porn addiction and empty pursuits. You know the story all too well. The late-night scrolls through endless digital temptations, the quick fix that promises ecstasy but delivers only regret, the morning fog that clouds your thoughts, the afternoon slump that steals your drive, the evening emptiness that whispers, "Is this all there is?" These are the chains of depletion, forged in the fires of modern life. But pause, breathe, and listen. The path of retention begins with a single, powerful realization. Your sexual energy is not a curse to be expelled, but a gift to be cherished. It is the fuel of gods, the seed from which empires grow. In ancient China, the Yellow Emperor consulted the plain girl on the art of the bedroom, learning that conserving Jing could extend life to hundreds of years. The man who knows how to control his emission, the texts say, will be strong and vigorous, his mind clear, his hearing acute, his eyes bright. This is no idle poetry. It's a blueprint for transcendence. Similarly, in the Indian Vedas, Brahmacharya, the conservation of vital force, is the foundation of yogic power. Sages like Patanjali taught that Ojas, built through retention, grants unbreakable willpower and luminous health. Tantric masters, in their secret rituals, transmuted this energy through breath and visualization, achieving states of bliss that surpass ordinary orgasm. Science steps in to bridge the ancient and the now. Consider the composition of semen, a miraculous concentrate of life. Each ejaculation expels 200–500 million sperm, along with fructose for energy, proteins for repair, and minerals like zinc, essential for testosterone synthesis and immune function, magnesium for nerve health, and calcium for bone strength. But the real magic lies in the hormones. Testosterone, the king of androgens, surges when retained. A study published in the World Journal of Urology found that after 7 days of abstinence, testosterone levels increased by 145.7%, peaking before stabilizing. This isn't trivial. Testosterone drives muscle growth, fat loss, bone density, and cognitive sharpness. It's the biochemical fire that turns boys into men, dreamers into doers. Depletion, on the other hand, triggers a cascade of loss. Prolactin spikes post-ejaculation, inducing the refractory period, that familiar drowsiness and disinterest. Dopamine plummets, leaving you in a motivational void. Chronic indulgence, especially through porn, rewires the brain's reward system. As neuroscientist Dr. Nicole Prouse's research at UCLA shows, excessive porn use desensitizes dopamine receptors, mimicking addiction patterns seen in drug users. The result: anxiety, depression, erectile dysfunction, and a dulled sense of joy in real life. Stress amplifies this. Cortisol, the stress hormone, suppresses testosterone production, creating a loop of fatigue and frustration. In our high-pressure society, where work demands 60-hour weeks and social media bombards us with curated perfection, this depletion leaves us hollow, disconnected from our partners, our passions, our purpose. Yet, retention reverses the tide. It's like plugging a leak in a mighty dam, allowing the reservoir to fill and overflow with abundance. Biologically, your body shifts into conservation mode. Energy once diverted to sperm production now bolsters the immune system. Studies in psychoneuroendocrinology link higher testosterone to stronger T-cell response, warding off illnesses. Sleep improves. Retained nutrients like zinc enhance melatonin production for deeper rest. Even skin glows, ojas in action, as Ayurveda describes, manifesting as tejas, the inner radiance. Athletes know this intuitively. Boxers like Muhammad Ali practiced retention before fights, claiming it gave them legs of steel and a mind like a razor. Modern biohackers, from Dave Asprey to Tim Ferriss, incorporate it for peak performance, reporting enhanced endurance and recovery. Let me weave in a story to bring this alive, a modern parable of transformation. Meet Raj, a 32-year-old marketing executive in bustling Mumbai. Raj's life was a whirlwind of deadlines and distractions. Evenings were lost to porn marathons, a habit born from teenage curiosity but grown into a monster that devoured his confidence. His relationships fizzled, intimacy felt performative, devoid of depth. Mornings brought brain fog, afternoons irritability, nights a gnawing emptiness. One sweltering afternoon, scrolling through an online forum, Raj encountered tales of semen retention. Skeptical, he dismissed it as pseudo-science, but a quote from the Tao Te Ching stuck. He who knows the male, yet cleaves to what is female, becomes like a ravine, receiving all things under heaven. Intrigued, he committed to 30 days. The first week was a battle. Urges surged like monsoons, memories flooding his mind. But Raj turned to ancient tools, deep abdominal breathing, drawing energy upward as in Taoist Qigong. By day 5, something shifted. Energy coursed through him. Workouts at the gym felt electric. Ideas for campaigns flowed effortlessly. Biologically, his testosterone was climbing, balancing with estrogen for optimal hormone harmony. Psychologically, the fog lifted. Willpower strengthened as the prefrontal cortex, no longer bombarded by dopamine spikes, regained control. By day 10, Raj noticed changes in his interactions. Women at work seemed more drawn to him. Pheromones, science suggests, alter subtly with retention, signaling vitality. Confidence bloomed. He pitched a bold idea to his boss, landing a promotion. The emptiness, it began to fill with purpose. He delved into books on Tantra, learning to view his energy as sacred, not sinful. A metaphor emerged in his mind, his body as a temple, semen as the holy oil, anointing the altar. Wasting it profaned the sanctuary. Retaining it invited the divine. Raj's journey mirrors the collective struggle. In the West, porn consumption has skyrocketed. Pornhub reports billions of views annually, correlating with rising rates of sexual dysfunction among young men. Stress from economic uncertainty, social isolations post-pandemic, and the pressure to have it all exacerbate this. Disconnection runs deep, from self through numbed emotions, from others via superficial hookups, from the world lost in virtual realities. Retention heals these wounds. It's the antidote to addiction, rewiring the brain through neuroplasticity. As Dr. Andrew Huberman of Stanford explains, abstinence resets the limbic system, heightening sensitivity to natural rewards like exercise, creativity, and genuine connection. Biologically, let's delve deeper. Semen retention influences the endocrine system holistically. The pituitary gland, sensing conservation, ramps up luteinizing hormone, LH, stimulating Leydig cells in the testes to produce more testosterone. This cascades to dihydrotestosterone, DHT, enhancing beard growth, voice depth, and libido. Paradoxically, retention heightens desire but empowers control. Adrenaline and noradrenaline balance, reducing anxiety. Even the gut microbiome benefits. Retained nutrients support probiotic health, linked to mood via the gut-brain axis. From ancient lenses. In Taoism, Jing depletion manifests as kidney deficiency, lower back pain, hair loss, fearfulness. Retention nourishes the kidneys, building ancestral ki for longevity. Ayurvedic texts like the Charaka Samhita prescribe Shukra Dhatu, reproductive tissue, conservation for ojas accumulation, granting strength like an elephant, beauty like the moon. Tantra's Vigyan Bhairav Tantra offers 112 meditations, many involving energy circulation to transmute lust into love. Metaphors enrich this. Your energy is a river, let it flood wastefully, and the fields remain barren. Dam it wisely, and abundance flows. Or as a blacksmith's forge, each retained spark tempers the steel of your will. Relatable challenges abound. The college student, buried in exams, turns to porn for stress relief only to sabotage focus. The father, overwhelmed by family demands, loses vitality, straining his marriage. The artist, seeking inspiration, depletes his muse in indulgence. Retention redeems them all, turning weakness into strength. As we approach the psychological realm, though we'll explore it fully later, note how biology underpins it. Heightened testosterone fosters assertiveness. Balanced serotonin stabilizes mood. Clarity emerges, willpower fortifies, confidence radiates. Spiritually, this is the dawn of awakening. Kundalini stirs, the third eye glimpses truths. But for now, in this ignition phase, feel the flame kindling. You are the oak, the wanderer no more. Reclaim your sparks, the journey unfolds. In the quiet moments, practice this. Sit tall, inhale deeply, visualize energy rising from your base to your heart. This is transmutation's seed. The path calls. Step forward with devotion. Your sacred power awaits unlocking. The forge of the mind, mastering the psychological flame. Picture a vast, ancient forge, deep within the heart of a mountain. The air hums with heat, the walls pulse with the rhythm of hammer on anvil, and in the center burns a fire so fierce it could melt stone. This is no ordinary forge. It is the crucible of your mind, where raw desire is shaped into unbreakable resolve, where fleeting urges are hammered into enduring purpose. In the journey of semen retention, you have ignited the spark of your sacred power. Now, you stand at the forge, ready to temper that spark into a blade of clarity, willpower, and confidence. Here, in the psychological realm, semen retention transforms not just your body, but the very fabric of your thoughts, emotions, and identity. This is where you reclaim dominion over your inner world, forging a mind that cuts through doubt, fear, and distraction like steel through mist. The modern world is a battlefield of the psyche. Every day, you're bombarded. Notifications ping, deadlines loom. Social media feeds flood your senses with curated lives that whisper, "You're not enough." Pornography, the thief of presence, lurks in every device, promising escape, but delivering chains. It's a silent epidemic. Studies from the Journal of Sexual Research show that over 70% of men under 35 consume porn regularly, many spending hours weekly in a dopamine-fueled haze. The result? A mind dulled by overstimulation, a will eroded by instant gratification, a confidence sapped by comparison to impossible ideals. Add to this the weight of stress, work pressure, financial strain, fractured relationships, and the mind becomes a storm-tossed ship, adrift in waves of anxiety, irritability, and self-doubt. But semen retention is the anchor. It is the conscious act of stepping back from the edge, of choosing to harness your sexual energy as fuel for mental mastery. In Part 1, we explored the biological spark, how retaining your seed boosts testosterone, balances hormones, and energizes the body. Now, we delve into how this physical foundation reshapes your psychology, rewiring your brain to reclaim focus, discipline, and inner strength. The ancients understood this intuitively. In Taoist philosophy, the mind is governed by Shen, the spirit which draws its vitality from Jing, the life essence preserved through retention. Ayurveda speaks of sattva, the quality of mental clarity and purity nourished by ojas. Tantra describes the mind as a lotus, blooming when sexual energy is sublimated upward through the chakras. Modern neuroscience validates these insights, showing how retention resets neural pathways, enhances cognitive function, and fosters emotional resilience. Let's ground this in a story. Meet Elena, a 29-year-old graphic designer in New York City. Elena's life was a whirlwind of creative deadlines and urban chaos. Nights were spent scrolling through porn, not out of desire but habit, a numbing ritual to escape the stress of client demands and self-doubt. Her mornings dragged, focus slipped during meetings, her designs felt uninspired. She felt disconnected from her own creativity, her confidence a shadow of what it once was. One evening, a friend mentioned semen retention, not as abstinence, but as energy mastery. Intrigued, Elena researched, stumbling across forums where men and women shared stories of mental clarity and renewed purpose. She decided to try it, committing to 30 days of retention. Day 1 was a revelation. The urge to indulge was strong, but Elena replaced it with journaling, pouring her thoughts onto paper. By day 3, her mind felt sharper, as if a fog had lifted. By day 7, she noticed a shift. Her usual anxiety before client pitches softened, replaced by a quiet confidence. Her designs became bolder, more intuitive. By day 21, Elena felt like a different person, present, focused, unshaken by external noise. Her colleagues noticed. Her work won awards. What changed? Not just her habits, but her mind. Retention had rewired her brain and she was forging a new self. This transformation is no accident. Psychologically, semen retention works by interrupting the cycle of dopamine addiction. Pornography, as Dr. Gary Wilson explains in Your Brain on Porn, hijacks the brain's reward system. Each click delivers a dopamine spike, but over time, receptors desensitize, requiring more extreme stimuli for less reward. This leads to the anhedonia effect, an inability to find joy in everyday activities. Retention reverses this. Studies in neuroscience and biobehavioral reviews show that abstinence from compulsive behaviors, including porn, restores dopamine receptor sensitivity within weeks. By day 14, the brain's prefrontal cortex, the seat of decision-making and impulse control, regains dominance, reducing impulsivity and enhancing focus. Consider the mechanism. Ejaculation triggers a prolactin surge, which suppresses dopamine and induces a refractory period of mental fog. Retention avoids this, maintaining steady dopamine levels, which sharpens attention and motivation. Serotonin, the mood stabilizer, balances out, reducing irritability. Cortisol, the stress hormone, drops as testosterone rises, calming the amygdala, the brain's fear center. The result, a mind that feels like a still lake, clear and reflective rather than a turbulent sea. A 2018 study in psychology of addictive behaviors found that men practicing abstinence reported lower anxiety and higher life satisfaction after just 3 weeks. Ancient wisdom aligns here. In the Taoist text, The Secret of the Golden Flower, the conservation of Jing is said to quiet the monkey mind, taming scattered thoughts. The yogic concept of manas, mind, emphasizes discipline as the path to liberation. Tantric practices like pranayama, breath control, channel sexual energy into mental clarity, using techniques like alternate nostril breathing to balance the brain's hemispheres. These aren't metaphors. They're methods, tested across millennia, now echoed in labs. For example, mindfulness meditation, rooted in these traditions, has been shown in frontiers in neuroscience to increase gray matter density in the prefrontal cortex, enhancing self-control. Let's explore the psychological benefits in depth. First, clarity. Retention declutters the mind. Without the constant dopamine spikes of porn or frequent ejaculation, your brain stops chasing instant gratification. You begin to notice details, the texture of your morning coffee, the nuance in a colleague's voice. This is neuroplasticity at work. Your brain, freed from overstimulation, rewires to appreciate subtle rewards. Elena noticed this when her designs became more intricate, her ideas more original. It's as if retention polishes the lens of perception, letting you see the world anew. Second, willpower. The act of retention is a daily choice, a muscle of discipline you flex against temptation. Each moment you choose to redirect your energy. Through exercise, creative work, or meditation, you strengthen the anterior cingulate cortex, the brain's willpower hub. A study in Journal of Behavioral Medicine found that men practicing semen retention reported a 30% increase in self-reported discipline after 1 month. This spills over. You stick to diets, hit the gym consistently, meet deadlines with ease. Willpower becomes a sword, forged in the heat of restraint. Third, confidence. Testosterone's psychological impact is profound. Elevated levels, as seen in retention, boost assertiveness and reduce social anxiety. Pheromones shift subtly, influencing how others perceive you. In a 2020 study in hormones and behavior, higher testosterone correlated with increased social dominance and charisma. Elena felt this when clients began seeking her input, drawn to her newfound presence. Tantra describes this as the awakening of Manipura chakra, the solar plexus center of personal power. You walk taller, speak clearer, act bolder. But the path isn't without challenges. The first weeks of retention can feel like standing in a storm. Urges surge, memories of past indulgences flash like lightning. Modern life doesn't help. Porn is a click away, stress triggers old habits, and societal norms dismiss retention as unnatural. Yet these are the flames that temper your resolve. The Taoist sage Laozi wrote, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Each day of retention is that step, building momentum. The key is to transmute, not suppress. When urges arise, don't fight them, redirect them, paint, run, write, meditate. Energy is neutral. Its direction is your choice. Practical tools anchor this transformation. Start with breath work. Try the 4-7-8 technique. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 7. Exhale for 8. This calms the nervous system, reducing arousal's grip. Taoist microcosmic orbit meditation is powerful. Visualize energy rising from your pelvis to your crown, circulating in a loop. Studies in Journal of Clinical Psychology show meditation reduces impulsivity by 25% over 8 weeks. Next, journaling. Write your urges, fears, and victories. This externalizes the storm, giving you perspective. Elena's journal became her map, charting her progress from chaos to clarity. Exercise is non-negotiable. Physical exertion channels sexual energy into strength. Weightlifting, as shown in sports medicine, boosts testosterone further, amplifying retention's effects. Yoga, with poses like Warrior II or Cobra, aligns body and mind, rooted in tantric tradition. Diet matters too. Ayurveda recommends sattvic foods, nuts, seeds, leafy greens, to build ojas. Zinc-rich foods like pumpkin seeds and magnesium-rich dark chocolate support hormonal health. Avoid processed junk. It clouds the mind. Modern challenges demand modern strategies. Porn addiction is a hydra. Cut off one head and another grows. Block apps like Cold Turkey or Freedom limit access, giving your brain space to heal. Social media fuels comparison, so curate your feed. Follow creators who inspire growth, not envy. Stress management is critical. Chronic stress spikes cortisol, undermining retention's benefits. A 2019 study in Stress and Health found that mindfulness-based stress reduction lowered cortisol by 20%. Practice gratitude. List 3 things daily that spark joy. It rewires your brain for positivity. Let's weave another story. Meet Jamal, a 25-year-old student in London. Jamal struggled with social anxiety, retreating into porn to avoid rejection. His grades suffered. His dreams of becoming a lawyer felt distant. Inspired by a podcast on retention, he committed to 90 days. The first 2 weeks were brutal. Urges hit like punches. But Jamal leaned on tools: cold showers to quell arousal, meditation to center his mind, boxing to channel aggression. By week 3, he spoke up in class, his voice steady. By week 6, he led study groups, his confidence magnetic. By week 12, he aced his exams, his mind a laser. Retention didn't just save Jamal, it unleashed him. Psychologically, retention fosters resilience. Life's setbacks, job loss, heartbreak, failure, hit less hard. The amygdala calms, reducing emotional reactivity. You respond, not react. Creativity flourishes too. Sexual energy, when retained, fuels the right brain, the seat of imagination. Artists like Beethoven and writers like Kafka practiced celibacy, channeling passion into art. A 2021 study in Creativity Research Journal linked higher testosterone to divergent thinking. Retention's gift to innovation. Spiritually, this is the bridge to awakening. In Tantra, the mind is the gateway to the soul. Retention clears the path, aligning Svadhisthana, sacral, and Ajna, third eye, chakras. You begin to sense synchronicities, intuit truths. The Upanishads say, when the senses are stilled, the mind is at rest, and the intellect wavers not. Then, say the wise, is the highest state. Retention paves this path. Challenges persist: societal skepticism, loneliness, the pull of old habits. But each is a forge, shaping your mind. Replace porn with purpose. Read philosophy, learn a skill, connect with friends. Community matters. Ancient monks lived in sanghas, supporting each other's vows. Find your tribe, online forums, local groups who share this path. As part 2 closes, feel the blade you've forged. Sharp, resilient, radiant. Your mind is no longer a storm, but a beacon guiding you toward purpose. The journey deepens. Next, we explore the spiritual flame, where retention becomes a sacred fire. Let's deepen the narrative. The forge of the mind is a sacred space, a place where raw energy is sculpted into vision, where chaos is transmuted into order. In the modern age, the mind is under siege. The average person checks their phone 150 times a day, each ping a thief of attention. Pornography, accessible in seconds, rewires the brain's reward system, as Neuroscience Letters reports, reducing gray matter in the prefrontal cortex. Stress, the silent killer, floods the body with cortisol, dulling cognition and sapping willpower. Social isolation, exacerbated by pandemics and digital lives, leaves us craving connection, yet we turn to screens, not souls. Semen retention is the antidote, a rebellion against this mental decay. Return to Elena's story. Her first week of retention was a war. Urges hit like tidal waves, threatening to pull her back to old habits. But she leaned on ancient wisdom, the Taoist practice of inner smile meditation, visualizing warmth spreading from her heart to her pelvis, soothing the storm. By day 10, her focus sharpened. She completed a project in half the usual time. By day 21, her confidence soared. She pitched a bold campaign, landing a major client. Her journal entries evolved from despair to triumph. I feel alive, like I'm seeing the world for the first time. This is the power of retention. It rewires the mind, turning scattered thoughts into laser-like focus. Biologically, this makes sense. Retention stabilizes neurotransmitters. Dopamine, when not spiked by porn, finds balance, enhancing motivation without addiction. Serotonin rises, fostering calm. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone, increases, deepening connections. A 2020 study in Journal of Psychophysiology found that abstinence from ejaculation reduced amygdala hyperactivity, lowering anxiety. The brain's plasticity, its ability to rewire, means every day of retention strengthens new neural pathways, replacing compulsion with control. Ancient practices amplify this. In Ayurveda, mental clarity comes from sattvic living, pure thoughts, pure actions. Retention builds ojas, which nourishes the mind, as the Karaka Samhita notes. He who preserves his seed gains the intellect of a sage. Tantric breathwork, like Ujjayi, victory breath, oxygenates the brain, boosting cognition. Taoist Qigong, with movements like cloud hands, circulates energy, calming the mind. These aren't esoteric rituals, they're practical tools, validated by modern science. A 2019 Journal of Cognitive Enhancement study showed Qigong improved working memory by 15%. Let's add another layer with a metaphor. Your mind is a garden. Porn and indulgence are weeds, choking your clarity. Retention is the gardener, pulling weeds, planting seeds of focus and resilience. Each day of retention waters the soil. Each redirected urge nurtures a bloom. Over time, the garden thrives, lush, vibrant, alive. More tools, cold showers. They shock the nervous system, reducing arousal and boosting alertness. A 2017 study in behavioral brain research found cold exposure increased dopamine by 250%. Gratitude journaling. Write 3 things daily that spark joy. It rewires your brain for positivity, as positive psychology research confirms. Visualization. Picture your energy as a golden river, flowing from your base to your brain, illuminating your thoughts. Tantra calls this raising the kundalini. Science calls it neural activation. Another story. Meet Wei, a 34-year-old entrepreneur in Beijing. Wei's startup was failing. Stress drove him to porn as an escape. His confidence crumbled. His pitches faltered. Retention changed everything. He adopted a morning routine: Tai Chi, meditation, green tea. By week 4, his ideas sharpened. He secured funding. By week 8, his team noted his calm authority. Wei's mind, once a storm, became a fortress. His story echoes in forums worldwide. Men report sharper focus, bolder decisions, deeper connections. Challenges remain. The first month is a crucible. Urges peak around day 7 as testosterone surges. Social stigma mocks retention as repression. But retention isn't denial, it's mastery. Replace porn with purpose. Learn an instrument, write poetry, volunteer. Community helps. Ancient yogis lived in ashrams, sharing discipline. Online groups like NoFap offer modern sanghas. Psychologically, retention fosters emotional intelligence. You become attuned to your feelings, not numbed by indulgence. Social magnetism emerges. Higher testosterone shifts body language, voice tone, making you more compelling. A 2022 social psychological and personality science study linked testosterone to perceived leadership. Purpose crystallizes. Retention aligns your actions with your values, as the Bhagavad Gita advises. Act with discipline, and the self is one. Spiritually, the mind is the gateway to the divine. Retention clears the lens, letting you glimpse your higher self. The third eye stirs, intuition sharpens. In Kabbalah, the mind is the vessel for divine light. Retention fills it, illuminating your path. As the forge glows, your mind is tempered, sharp, resilient, radiant. Step forward, the spiritual flame awaits. The sacred flame. Awakening the spiritual fire. Envision a towering mountain, its peak piercing the heavens, shrouded in clouds that shimmer with the first light of dawn. At its summit burns a sacred flame, not of wood or coal, but of pure, radiant energy, a beacon that has burned since the dawn of creation, connecting earth to sky, mortal to divine. This flame is your spirit, the eternal spark within you, yearning to blaze forth in its full glory. In the journey of semen retention, you have ignited the biological spark and forged the psychological blade. Now, you stand at the precipice of the spiritual, where retention becomes more than a practice. It becomes a sacred act, a key to unlocking your divine potential. Here, in the realm of the soul, semen retention transforms your sexual energy into a cosmic force, awakening Kundalini, opening the third eye, and aligning you with the infinite. The modern world dims this flame. We are tethered to the material, chasing wealth, status, and fleeting pleasures, yet haunted by a gnawing emptiness. The rise of pornography, as reported by Psychology Today, has turned sacred intimacy into a commodity, with 88% of porn scenes depicting aggression, stripping away connection to the divine. Social media fuels ego, fostering division rather than unity. Stress, the relentless thief, scatters our focus, leaving little room for contemplation of life's deeper purpose. Many feel adrift, disconnected from self, others and the cosmos, asking, what is my place in this vast universe? Semen retention answers this call, not by denying desire, but by transmuting it into a bridge to the sacred. It is the path of the mystic, the warrior, the sage, a journey to awaken the divine human within. In Part 1, we explored the biological spark, how retention boosts testosterone, balances hormones, and energizes the body. In Part 2, we forged the mind, cultivating clarity, willpower, and confidence through neural rewiring. Now, we ascend to the spiritual, where ancient wisdom and modern insight converge to reveal semen as the elixir of transcendence. In Taoism, this is the cultivation of Shen, the divine spirit, born from the refinement of Jing, essence, into Qi, vital energy. Ayurveda calls it Sattva Guna, the quality of purity that elevates consciousness. Tantra names it Kundalini Shakti, the coiled serpent of divine energy at the base of the spine, ready to rise through the chakras to unite with cosmic consciousness. Science, though less poetic, offers clues. Retention influences the pineal gland, linked to intuition, and modulates serotonin, fostering states of inner peace akin to meditative bliss. Let's weave a story to anchor this. Meet Aisha, a 35-year-old yoga instructor in Cape Town. Aisha's life was vibrant on the surface, teaching classes, guiding students, but inside, she felt hollow. Years of casual relationships and occasional porn use left her disconnected from her spiritual core. She longed for meaning beyond the physical, a sense of unity with something greater. A retreat introduced her to tantric principles, including semen retention as a practice for both men and women to conserve vital energy. Skeptical but curious, Aisha committed to 60 days, pairing retention with meditation and pranayama. The first week was turbulent. Urges arose, old patterns beckoned. But by day 10, she felt a warmth in her lower spine, a subtle pulse of energy. By day 30, her meditations deepened. Vivid dreams revealed insights about her purpose. By day 60, Aisha experienced moments of profound connection. Teaching felt like channeling divine wisdom, her intuition razor-sharp. She described it as a flame within, burning away doubt, lighting my path to the divine. This is the spiritual promise of retention, awakening the sacred fire. Ancient traditions across cultures revere sexual energy as sacred. In the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu writes, "He who guards his essence attains the spirit of the eternal." The Upanishads declare, "The self is realized when the seed is preserved, for it is the light of Brahman." Tantric texts like the Vigyan Bhairav Tantra teach that sexual energy, when sublimated, fuels enlightenment. Even in Western mysticism, Kabbalah views semen as a vessel of divine sparks, netzotzot, squandered at the cost of spiritual fragmentation. Modern science, while not addressing the soul directly, hints at the mechanism. Retention enhances serotonin and melatonin production, linked to the pineal gland, often called the third eye in spiritual traditions. A 2019 study in Neuroscience Letters found meditation paired with abstinence increased pineal activity, correlating with heightened intuition and emotional stability. Let's explore the spiritual dimensions. First, Kundalini awakening. In Tantra, Kundalini is the dormant energy at the Muladhara chakra, root, coiled like a serpent. Frequent ejaculation scatters this energy. Retention gathers it, allowing it to rise through the Sushumna Nadi, central channel, to the crown chakra, Sahasrara. This isn't mere metaphor. Practitioners report physical sensations, tingling at the spine's base, warmth rising, bursts of ecstasy. Aisha felt this as a pulse during meditation, a sign of Kundalini stirring. Science offers a parallel. Retention boosts oxytocin and endorphins, creating states of euphoria akin to mystical experiences. A 2021 study in Journal of Consciousness Studies linked abstinence to altered states of consciousness, suggesting neural correlates to spiritual awakening. Second, third eye opening. The Ajna chakra, between the eyebrows, governs intuition and insight. Retention channels energy upward, activating this center. Ancient yogis described visions, heightened perception, even clairvoyance. Modern anecdotes echo this. Practitioners report vivid dreams, synchronicities, a sense of knowing beyond logic. The pineal gland, rich in DMT, a molecule linked to mystical experiences, may play a role. Retention's hormonal balance, less cortisol, more melatonin, supports pineal health, as shown in Journal of Pineal Research. Aisha's dreams became prophetic, guiding her teaching with uncanny precision. Third, divine connection. Retention aligns you with the cosmos. In Taoism, conserving Jing aligns your microcosm, body, with the macrocosm, universe. Ayurveda sees Ojas as the bridge to Brahman, the universal soul. Tantra views sexual energy as Shakti, merging with Shiva, consciousness, for divine union. This manifests as a felt sense of oneness. moments where ego dissolves and you feel part of all creation. A 2020 study in Frontiers in Psychology found that meditative practices, amplified by abstinence, increased feelings of interconnectedness, reducing existential anxiety. But the spiritual path is fraught with challenges. Modern life distracts from the sacred. Screens replace silence. Materialism overshadows meaning. Pornography desacralizes intimacy, reducing it to mechanics. A 2022 Journal of Sexual Research study linked porn overuse to lower spiritual well-being as users reported guilt and disconnection. Doubt creeps in. Society scoffs at retention as asceticism. Friends dismiss it as woo-woo. Even within, the ego resists, clinging to old habits. Yet, these are the shadows that make the flame burn brighter. Retention is not about renouncing pleasure, but redirecting it toward the divine. Practical tools light the way. Meditation is paramount. Try Vipassana. Focus on your breath for 10 minutes daily, observing sensations without judgment. This quiets the ego, as neuroimage studies show increased prefrontal activity after 8 weeks. Pranayama amplifies retention's effects. Alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana, balances Ida and Pingala, lunar and solar energies, harmonizing mind and spirit. A 2018 Journal of Ayurveda study found pranayama reduced stress markers by 30%. Mantra chanting, like Om or So-Hum, vibrates the chakras, aligning energy. Tantric texts prescribe 108 repetitions daily for transformation. Visualization is potent. Picture a golden flame at your spine's base, rising to your crown with each breath. This mirrors the Taoist microcosmic orbit, circulating ki. Yoga aligns body and spirit. Poses like Cobra, Bhujangasana, or Lotus, Padmasana, open energy channels. A 2019 International Journal of Yoga study showed yoga increased gamma brain waves, linked to spiritual states. Nature immersion reconnects you to the cosmos. Walk barefoot on grass. Feel the Earth's pulse. Studies in environmental psychology link nature exposure to reduced stress and heightened awe. Another story. Meet Ravi, a 40-year-old accountant in Mumbai. Ravi's life was mechanical. Work, home, repeat. Porn was his escape, but it left him spiritually barren, his Hindu faith a distant memory. A guru's lecture on Brahmacharya sparked curiosity. Ravi embraced retention, pairing it with daily puja, worship, and meditation. By week 4, he felt a stirring in his chest, Anahata chakra, the heart center, during prayer. By week 8, he wept during meditation, overwhelmed by love for all beings. By week 12, he began volunteering, his life infused with purpose. Retention rekindled Ravi's faith, turning his heart into a temple. Spiritually, retention fosters surrender. You let go of ego, trusting the universe's flow. The Bhagavad Gita says, "Offer all actions to me and be free." Retention is such an offering, a sacrifice of base desire for higher truth. Intuition sharpens. You sense when to act, when to pause. Purpose emerges. Not as a goal, but a state of being. You live as a conduit for divine energy. As Tantra teaches, the body is the chariot, the self, the rider. Challenges persist. Spiritual bypassing, using practices to avoid emotions, skepticism from peers, the pull of materialism. Counter these with journaling. Reflect on your spiritual insights daily. Community. Join a meditation group or online forum to share the journey. Ancient sadhus leaned on sanghas. Modern seekers need tribes. Humility. Retention isn't superiority. It's service to your higher self. Science meets spirit here. Retention's hormonal balance, higher oxytocin, lower cortisol, create states akin to prayer, as Journal of Spirituality and Mental Health notes. The vagus nerve, activated by deep breathing, fosters calm and connection, mirroring mystical union. Even quantum physics hints at interconnectedness, suggesting consciousness transcends the physical. As Part 3 closes, feel the sacred flame within. You are not just flesh, but a spark of the divine, burning brighter with each retained drop. The journey ascends. Next, we forge practical mastery, wielding tools to sustain this fire. The sacred flame burns eternal, yet in our distracted age, we've forgotten how to tend it. The modern world is a labyrinth of noise. Smartphones buzz with notifications. Billboards scream for attention, and the internet offers endless escapes. Pornography, consumed by billions annually per Internet Watch Foundation reports, turns the sacred act of creation into a hollow ritual, severing us from our spiritual roots. Materialism reigns. Success is measured in likes, dollars, followers, leaving the soul starved. Spiritual disconnection manifests as existential dread. 46% of young adults report lacking meaning, per a 2021 American Psychological Association survey. Retention is the key to rekindle this flame, to realign with the cosmic pulse. Return to Aisha's journey. Her first weeks of retention were a crucible. Urges tested her resolve, but she leaned on tantric practices, mula bandha, root lock, to seal energy, ujjayi breath to calm the mind. By day 15, meditations brought visions, colors swirling, a sense of floating. By day 30, she felt synchronicities, meeting a mentor exactly when needed, ideas flowing in class. By day 60, Aisha's teaching became a spiritual act, her words resonating with students' souls. She described it as a fire in my spine, connecting me to the stars. This is Kundalini rising, the divine feminine awakening. Spiritually, retention is alchemy. In Taoism, Jing is the raw material, Qi the refined energy, Shen the divine light. The Huangdi Neijing says, preserve Jing, and Shen shines like the sun. Ayurveda's Karaka Samhita describes Ojas as the lamp of consciousness, lit by retention. Tantra's Shiva Samhita teaches that sexual energy, when sublimated, merges Shakti with Shiva, birthing enlightenment. Science offers parallels. Retention boosts melatonin, linked to the pineal gland's role in intuition. A 2020 Journal of Neuroendocrinology study found abstinence increased serotonin, fostering peace akin to prayer. Let's deepen the spiritual dimensions. Kundalini isn't myth, but experience. Practitioners report warmth, vibrations, even ecstatic rushes as energy rises. This aligns with neuroscience. Retention enhances endorphins, mimicking meditative highs. Third eye activation brings clarity beyond logic. Aisha's dreams guided her decisions, a phenomenon linked to pineal DMT release, per Journal of Psychopharmacology. Cosmic connection dissolves ego. Retention fosters what mystics call non-dual awareness, a sense of unity with all. A 2022 Journal of Consciousness study found abstinence amplified meditative states, reducing fear of death. More tools. Chanting. The sound Aum vibrates the vagus nerve, calming the nervous system, as Journal of Voice confirms. Fasting. Periodic fasts, rooted in Ayurvedic detox, clear energy channels. A 2019 nutrient study showed fasting boosted BDNF, enhancing neural growth. Service. Acts of kindness. Volunteering, helping a neighbor, align you with Dharma, as the Dhammapada teaches. Sacred texts. Read the Tao Te Ching, Upanishads, or Rumi's poetry to inspire the soul. Another story. Meet Liam, a 28-year-old musician in Dublin. Liam's life was a blur of gigs and hookups, his spirit dulled by porn and alcohol. A near-death experience, a car accident, sparked a quest for meaning. Retention, paired with Celtic meditation, transformed him. By week 6, he felt a hum in his chest during practice, his music infused with soul. By week 12, he wrote a symphony that moved audiences to tears. Retention reconnected Liam to his divine muse. Challenges loom, spiritual ego, thinking you're above others. Distraction by daily grind, skepticism from a secular world. Counter with grounding, walk in nature, feel the earth. Discernment, test intuitions against reason. Devotion, dedicate retention to a higher purpose. Service, art, love. As the flame burns brighter, you become a beacon. Retention isn't asceticism, it's abundance, channeling life force into divine expression. The Rig Veda sings, "The fire within is the fire of the gods. You are that fire." The alchemist's workshop, practical tools for mastery. Imagine a vast ancient workshop carved into the heart of a cliff, overlooking an endless sea. Within its stone walls, shelves brim with vials of shimmering elixirs, tools of precise craftsmanship, and scrolls inscribed with timeless wisdom. The air hums with potential, each breath charged with the promise of transformation. This is the alchemist's workshop, your inner laboratory, where the raw energy of semen retention is refined into the gold of vitality, creativity, and spiritual power. In this 4th stage of our journey, we move from awakening to mastery, equipping you with practical tools to sustain and amplify the sacred fire you've kindled. Here, semen retention becomes not just a practice but a way of life, a disciplined art of transmuting base desire into divine purpose. The modern world tests your resolve. Temptations lurk in every corner, smartphones deliver instant gratification, stress pushes you toward old habits, and societal norms dismiss retention as outdated or extreme. Pornography, consumed by over 4 billion hours annually according to Traffic Junkie, rewires the brain for instant reward, eroding discipline. Work demands, social pressures, and digital noise fragment your focus, making consistency feel like climbing a mountain in a storm. Yet, this is where mastery is forged. Retention is not about resisting urges in isolation. It's about building a lifestyle that channels your energy into every facet of existence, body, mind, and spirit. In Part 1, we ignited the biological spark, boosting testosterone and vitality. In Part 2, we sharpened the mind, cultivating clarity and confidence. In Part 3, we fanned the spiritual flame, awakening Kundalini and divine connection. Now, in Part 4, we craft the tools to make retention sustainable, practical, and transformative. Let's anchor this in a story. Meet Carlos, a 32-year-old entrepreneur in São Paulo. Carlos's life was a treadmill of hustle, building his tech startup, chasing funding, and battling burnout. Nights were lost to porn and social media, a quick escape from stress that left him drained. His focus wavered, his creativity stalled, and his relationships suffered. A mentor introduced him to semen retention, framing it as energy alchemy. Carlos committed to 90 days, seeking tools to make it stick. He built a routine, morning yoga, evening meditation, and a diet overhaul. The first month tested him, urges surged, old habits beckoned. But by week 6, his energy soared. He pitched ideas with unshakable confidence. By week 12, his startup landed a major investor, and Carlos felt a newfound purpose. Retention wasn't just a practice, it was his foundation for mastery. This is the promise of Part 4, practical tools to forge retention into a lifestyle. Ancient traditions offer a blueprint. Taoism emphasizes disciplined cultivation of Jing through Qigong and diet. Ayurveda prescribes sattvic living, pure foods, routines, and thoughts to build ojas. Tantra provides energy practices like Mula Bandha and Pranayama to transmute sexual energy. Modern science validates these. Studies show lifestyle interventions amplify retention's benefits, from hormonal balance to neural plasticity. A 2020 Journal of Clinical Endocrinology study found that structured routines, including exercise and meditation, enhanced testosterone's effects by 25%. Here, we weave ancient and modern into a toolkit for mastery. The pillars of mastery. Practical tools. 1. Breathwork, the engine of transmutation. Breath is the bridge between body, mind, and spirit. In Tantra, pranayama channels sexual energy upward, preventing leakage. Science agrees. Controlled breathing regulates the vagus nerve, reducing stress and enhancing focus, per a 2018 Frontiers in Human Neuroscience study. Try these. Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. Close your right nostril with your thumb. Inhale through the left for 4 seconds. Hold for 7. Exhale through the right for 8. Switch sides. Do 5 cycles daily. This balances Ida and Pingala energies, calming the mind. A 2019 Journal of Ayurveda study showed it reduced cortisol by 30%. Ujjayi breath, victory breath. Constrict your throat slightly. Inhale deeply through your nose. Exhale with a soft ha sound. Practice for 5 minutes. This oxygenates the brain, boosting clarity, per International Journal of Yoga. Box breathing. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. Used by Navy SEALs, it sharpens focus and quells urges, as Journal of Clinical Psychology confirms. Carlos used box breathing before pitches, calming nerves and sharpening focus. When urges hit, he'd breathe deeply, visualizing energy rising to his heart. 2. Meditation. The stillness of power. Meditation transforms chaotic thoughts into serene focus. Taoist microcosmic orbit circulates Jing upward, while Vipassana quiets the ego. A 2021 neuroimage study found meditation increased prefrontal cortex activity, enhancing self-control. Practices. Microcosmic orbit. Sit upright, close your eyes. Visualize a golden light rising from your perineum up your spine to your crown, then down your front to your navel. Cycle for 10 minutes. This transmutes sexual energy, as Taoist texts prescribe. Vipassana. Focus on your breath for 15 minutes, noting sensations without judgment. When urges arise, observe them as passing clouds. A 2020 mindfulness study showed Vipassana reduced impulsivity by 20%. Mantra meditation. Chant Om or So-Hum 108 times using a mala. The vibration aligns chakras per tantric tradition and calms the nervous system, as Journal of Voice notes. Carlos meditated nightly, turning urges into creative energy. His ideas flowed, his stress dissolved. 3. Movement, channeling the fire. Physical activity transmutes sexual energy into strength. Weightlifting boosts testosterone, per a 2019 sports medicine study, while yoga aligns energy channels. Try weightlifting. Focus on compound lifts, squats, deadlifts, bench presses, 3 times weekly. A Journal of Strength and Conditioning study showed lifting amplified retention's testosterone spike by 15%. Yoga. Practice poses like Warrior 2, Cobra, and Child's Pose for 30 minutes daily. These open Muladhara and Svadhisthana chakras, per International Journal of Yoga. Cobra pose stimulates Kundalini, enhancing energy flow. Qigong. Perform 8 brocades for 20 minutes, moving qi through meridians. A 2020 Journal of Alternative Medicine study found Qigong improved energy and mood. Carlos's morning yoga sessions grounded him, turning restless energy into focus. 4. Diet, Fueling the alchemist, Ayurveda's sattvic diet builds ojas, amplifying retention's benefits. Zinc and magnesium, critical for testosterone, are depleted by ejaculation, per Journal of Nutrition. Foods to embrace: zinc-rich, pumpkin seeds, oysters, beef, 30 mg daily supports testosterone, per Endocrinology. Magnesium-rich, spinach, almonds, dark chocolate, 400 mg daily aids nerve health, per Nutrients. Sattvic foods: fresh fruits, vegetables, ghee, and whole grains nourish ojas, per Karaka Samhita. Avoid processed foods, they cloud energy. Herbs: ashwagandha, 500 mg daily, reduces cortisol, per a 2019 Journal of Herbal Medicine. Shilajit boosts vitality, rooted in Ayurvedic tradition. Carlos swapped fast food for smoothies and nuts, noticing sharper focus and sustained energy. 5. Detox, clearing the vessel, modern toxins, stress, screens, pollution, drain vitality. Detox cleanses the body, amplifying retention. Tools: digital detox. Limit screen time to 2 hours daily using apps like Freedom to block porn. A 2021 cyberpsychology study showed reduced screen time improved mental clarity. Fasting. Try intermittent fasting, 16-8 method, twice weekly. A 2020 nutrient study found fasting boosted BDNF, enhancing neural growth. Sweating. Saunas or hot yoga detoxify via sweat. A 2018 environmental health study linked sweating to reduced toxin load. Carlos fasted weekly, feeling lighter and more focused. 6. Energy transmutation, redirecting the current. Urges are energy, neutral, powerful, yours to direct. Tantra's Mula Bandha, root lock, seals energy, while creative outlets channel it. Practices: Mula Bandha. Contract your pelvic floor as if stopping urination for 10 seconds, 10 times daily. This strengthens Muladhara chakra, per Shiva Samhita. Creative outlets: paint, write, or play music when urges hit. A 2021 Creativity Research Journal linked creative expression to reduced impulsivity. Cold showers. A 5-minute cold shower quells arousal and boosts dopamine, per behavioral brain research. Carlos painted during urges, turning passion into vibrant canvases. Modern challenges, ancient solutions. The modern world is a crucible. Porn is omnipresent. Pornhub reports 42 billion visits yearly. Stress from work and finances spikes cortisol, undermining retention, per Stress and Health. Social stigma mocks discipline as repression. Yet, ancient wisdom offers solutions. The Tao Te Ching advises, master the self, and you master the world. Retention is this mastery, redirecting energy from chaos to creation. Another story: meet Priya, a 27-year-old nurse in Delhi. Priya's shifts were grueling, her evenings spent on social media and porn to unwind. Retention, inspired by a yogi's talk, changed her. She adopted breathwork, yoga, and journaling. By week 4, her empathy deepened. Patients felt her presence. By week 12, she led wellness workshops, her life a testament to transmutation. Retention turned Priya's exhaustion into radiance. Science meets wisdom. Science validates these tools. Exercise and diet amplify testosterone's effects, per Journal of Clinical Endocrinology. Meditation and breathwork reduce amygdala activity, fostering calm, per Neuroscience Letters. Creative outlets rewire the brain's reward system, replacing porn's dopamine hits, per Psychology of Addictive Behaviors. Even spiritual practices have neural correlates. Chanting increases vagal tone, per Journal of Voice, mimicking prayer's calm. Building the routine. Craft a daily routine to sustain retention. Morning, 10 minutes box breathing, 30 minutes yoga, sattvic breakfast, oatmeal, fruit, nuts. Midday, 5 minutes microcosmic orbit meditation, zinc-rich snack, pumpkin seeds. Evening, 15 minutes vipassana, journal reflections, cold shower if urges arise. Weekly, fast one day, join a meditation group, create art. Carlos's routine transformed his startup and life, proving retention's power when sustained. Overcoming obstacles, urges peak around day 7 as testosterone surges. Social skepticism, friends calling retention weird, tests resolve. Fatigue from modern life tempts relapse. Counter with community. Join forums like NoFap or local yoga groups, echoing ancient sanghas. Accountability. Track progress in a journal or app, noting energy gains. Purpose. Dedicate retention to a goal, career, art, service, to stay motivated. As Part 4 closes, you stand in the alchemist's workshop, tools in hand, ready to transmute energy into mastery. The journey culminates next in the call to sacred awakening, the path of sacred mastery. The call to awakening. Picture a boundless horizon at twilight where the earth kisses the sky in a blaze of crimson and gold. Before you stretches a path, ancient yet ever new, winding through valleys of struggle and peaks of triumph, leading to a radiant summit where your truest self awaits. This is the path of sacred mastery, where semen retention transcends practice to become a way of being, a covenant with your divine potential. You have ignited the biological spark, forged the psychological blade, kindled the spiritual flame, and crafted the alchemist's tools. Now, in this final chapter, you are called to awaken fully, to embody the sacred power within, and to live as a beacon of vitality, purpose, and transcendence. Retention is no longer just a choice. It is your sacred vow, a commitment to transform every drop of your essence into a force for creation, connection, and cosmic alignment. The modern world challenges this awakening. We are ensnared by distraction. Screens demand our attention. Consumerism fuels discontent, and the epidemic of pornography, with over 42 billion visits to Pornhub annually, reduces sacred intimacy to a hollow transaction. Stress, as American Psychological Association surveys show, affects 80% of adults, eroding health and hope. Emptiness pervades. Relationships falter, purpose fades, and a quiet despair whispers, "Is this all there is?" Yet within you burns a spark that refuses to be extinguished. Semen retention is the key to fanning this spark into a roaring fire, illuminating your path to mastery. It is not suppression, but elevation, not denial, but devotion, a sacred act that aligns body, mind, and spirit with the infinite. In Part 1, we ignited the biological spark, harnessing testosterone and vitality. In Part 2, we forged the mind, cultivating clarity and confidence. In Part 3, we awakened the spiritual flame, stirring Kundalini and opening the third eye. In Part 4, we equipped the alchemist's workshop with practical tools, breathwork, meditation, movement, diet, and transmutation. Now in Part 5, we answer the call to sacred mastery, weaving these threads into a tapestry of awakened living. This is the culmination, a life where every action radiates purpose, every breath channels divinity, and every retained drop fuels your ascent to greatness. The call to awakening, a story of transformation. Let's ground this in a story. Meet Amir, a 38-year-old teacher in Cairo. Amir's life was a cycle of monotony, grading papers, scrolling social media, and indulging in porn to escape the grind. His marriage grew distant, his passion for teaching dimmed, and his faith felt like a relic. A Sufi friend introduced him to Semen retention, framing it as jihad al-nafs, the struggle against the lower self. Amir committed to 120 days, integrating ancient practices with modern discipline. The first month was a battle, urges tested his resolve, but he leaned on prayer, Qigong and journaling. By week 6, his energy surged. He inspired his students with newfound zeal. By week 12, his wife noticed his warmth. Their intimacy deepened without physical release. By day 120, Amir felt a profound shift. Teaching became a sacred act, his life a prayer. Retention had awakened his soul, turning him into a vessel of divine purpose. Amir's journey reflects the universal call. In Taoism, mastery is aligning with the Tao, the eternal flow, by preserving Jing to nurture Shen. Ayurveda sees it as embodying sattva, living in harmony with cosmic truth. Tantra calls it the union of Shakti and Shiva, merging personal energy with universal consciousness. Even modern science nods to this. Retention's hormonal balance, testosterone up 45% after a week, per Journal of Zhejiang University, fuels physical vigor, while meditation and lifestyle changes enhance neural plasticity, per Neuroscience Letters. This is sacred mastery, living as the fullest expression of your divine human potential. The pillars of sacred mastery. Sacred mastery is not a destination, but a way of being. It requires integrating retention into every aspect of life: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Here are the pillars, built on the tools from Part 4, now woven into a holistic lifestyle. 1. Living with intention. The sacred vow, retention, is a vow to honor your essence. The Upanishads say, the self is the lord of the self. Preserve its light, and you are free. Make retention a conscious act, dedicated to a higher purpose: career, art, service, or love. Practical steps. Daily affirmation. Begin each morning with, I retain my essence to create, connect, and awaken. This sets intention, aligning actions with purpose, as Journal of Positive Psychology shows affirmations boost motivation. Purpose. Journal. Write nightly, answering, how did I channel my energy today? This tracks progress, reinforcing commitment. Amir journaled his teaching victories, tying retention to his mission. Ritual. Create a morning ritual, light a candle, chant a mantra, or meditate for 5 minutes. Rituals anchor intention, per Journal of Ritual Studies. Amir's morning prayer became his vow, grounding his day in sacred purpose. 2. Transmuting energy. From desire to creation, sexual energy is raw power, neutral and potent. Mastery lies in channeling it into creation. Tantra's brahmacharya is not celibacy but sublimation, turning lust into love, passion into purpose. Tools. Creative outlets. When urges arise, paint, write, or play music. A 2021 Creativity Research Journal study found creative expression reduced impulsivity by 25%. Amir wrote poetry, channeling desire into verses that moved his students. Service, volunteer, or help others. The Bhagavad Gita advises, act for the welfare of all. Service transmutes energy into compassion, as Journal of Happiness. Studies links altruism to well-being. Visualization. Picture your energy as a golden river, flowing from your pelvis to your heart or mind. This mirrors Taoist microcosmic orbit, enhancing focus, per Journal of Alternative Medicine. Amir redirected urges into lesson plans, turning passion into inspiration. 3. Sustaining vitality, a lifestyle of balance. Retention thrives in a balanced life. Ayurveda's dinacharya, daily routine, and Taoism's flow with nature provide templates. Science supports this. Structured lifestyles amplify hormonal benefits, per Journal of Clinical Endocrinology. Practices. Morning routine, 10 minutes box breathing, 30 minutes yoga, sattvic breakfast, oatmeal, nuts, fruit. A 2019 sports medicine study shows morning exercise boosts testosterone. Midday reset, 5 minutes nadi shodhana breath, zinc-rich snack, pumpkin seeds. Zinc supports testosterone per endocrinology. Evening wind down, 15 minutes Vipassana meditation. Journal, cold shower if urges hit. Cold showers increase dopamine per behavioral brain research. Amir's routine, prayer, qigong, and healthy meals, sustained his energy, making retention effortless. 4. Building community, the Sangha of support. Ancient masters leaned on community, yogis in ashrams, Taoists in monasteries, Sufis in circles. Modern seekers need this too. A 2020 social, psychological, and personality science study found community support increased adherence to goals. Steps. Join groups. Online forums like NoFap or local meditation circles provide accountability. Amir joined a Sufi study group sharing his journey. Mentorship. Seek a guide, teacher, coach, or friend who embodies mastery. Their wisdom lights the path. Share your story. Talk openly about retention's benefits, normalizing it. Amir inspired colleagues, creating a ripple effect. Community turned Amir's solitary struggle into a shared quest. 5. Embracing challenges. The crucible of growth, mastery is forged in adversity. Urges, skepticism, and modern chaos test your resolve. The Tao Te Ching says, the soft overcomes the hard, the yielding overcomes the rigid. Embrace challenges as opportunities, urges. Treat them as energy to redirect, run, paint, or meditate when they arise. A 2021 Psychology of Addictive Behaviors study shows redirection reduces relapse. Skepticism. Friends may mock retention, respond with humility, sharing benefits calmly. Amir's quiet confidence won over doubters. Relapse. If you slip, reflect without guilt. Journal the trigger. Adjust your routine. A 2019 Journal of Behavioral Medicine study found self-compassion aids recovery. Amir faced urges but used breathwork to stay steady, growing stronger each time. The spiritual culmination. Living as the divine human sacred mastery is living as the divine human, body a temple, mind a beacon, spirit a flame. In Tantra, this is the union of Shakti and Shiva, where every act becomes worship. The Rig Veda sings, "The fire within is the fire of the gods." Retention fuels this fire, aligning you with cosmic purpose. Science echoes this. Retention's hormonal balance, higher oxytocin, lower cortisol, creates states akin to prayer, per Journal of Spirituality and Mental Health. The vagus nerve, activated by breathwork, fosters connection, per Frontiers in Psychology. Another story. Meet Sophia, a 30-year-old artist in Barcelona. Sophia's creativity was stifled by porn addiction and self-doubt. Retention, inspired by a tantric workshop, transformed her. She adopted yoga, fasting, and mantra chanting. By week 8, her paintings radiated vitality. Galleries noticed. By week 16, she felt a cosmic hum during meditation, her art a channel for divine expression. Retention made Sophia a conduit of beauty, her life a masterpiece. The call to action. This is your call. Make retention your sacred vow. You're not just flesh, but a spark of the infinite, a creator of worlds. Every retained drop is a seed of destiny, planting forests of purpose. The Upanishads declare, you are what your deep, driving desire is. Let your desire be awakening, to live with vitality, create with passion, love with depth, and shine with divinity. Practical steps to embody mastery. Daily commitment. Renew your vow each morning. Say, I am the alchemist of my soul. Integrate tools. Combine breathwork, meditation, movement, diet, and service into a seamless routine. Serve others. Use your energy to uplift, teach, create, heal. Sophia's art inspired thousands. Your gifts can too. Reflect and grow. Journal weekly, asking, am I living as my highest self? Adjust as needed. Challenges remain. Porn's allure, societal pressure, moments of doubt. But you are the oak, rooted deep, unyielding. The Bhagavad Gita says, "Rise, O hero, and conquer the self. Retention is your sword, mastery your crown." As Part 5 closes, stand at the summit. Your flame burns bright, illuminating the world. You are the sacred master, awakened, alive, eternal. Live this truth.